Welcome to Licensed Poetics. I'm your host, Fang Ling. Today's episode comes to you in two parts. And as usual, you can scroll down in Spotify and navigate the episode using the chapters or the timestamps. Before I get into that, some housekeeping first. As you know, Derek is moving to the US very soon, and before his departure, we've recorded some very special content, and today you'll hear some of it. And of course, Licensed Poetics' big collaboration project with All the Best podcasts by FBI Radio is now out on Spotify. I will put the link in the description of this episode. It's titled A Literary Podcast Origin Story, so it may be connected with Licensed Poetics. You'll find out once you listen. It's a satirical story about being a literary critic, co-written by Derek and myself. And of course, shout out to my amazing team, Sophie, Angela, Eva, and Ivy. So please check it out on Spotify. It is free to listen to, and thank you so much. So now on to today's episode. In the first part, you will hear a game that Derek and I play. It's called Quotes Off, or at least that's what I decide to call it, where we test each other on how well we know our favorite books. So we really put our own reputations on the line, and it was really, really fun. The second half of today's episode is some book club discussion material that I recorded in Singapore with Marlene. If you remember a few episodes ago, Marlene and I discussed Convenience Store Woman in a book club episode, and we actually discussed a second book for our book club, which is The Hole by Hiroko Oyamada. And that original episode got too long, so I decided to put it in a separate episode today. Okay, so without further ado, let's start the episode, and I hope you enjoy. Today, we're going to do a quotes off game. Shout out to Books Unbound, which is a book podcast hosted by Ariel and Raylene. I got the inspiration from them, where Ariel, the host, her favorite book is Animal Farm. In one of their episodes, Raylene selected 10 quotes and quizzed Ariel whether the quote is from Animal Farm or not. So it really was her reputation on the line. You know, like she keeps saying that's her favorite book. How well does she actually know her favorite book? So today we're going to do something similar. Derek has created 2 suites of quotes from 2 books that I always talk about on this podcast, which are The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger and Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. And I have created 2 suites of questions for Derek from Murakami and Community, which is the TV show that you keep talking about. So how do you think you will do, Derek?
I am not super confident about the Murakami one, but Community should be more straightforward. It's just quotes. It's show. I've seen it
Yeah, how many times have you seen Community?
I've seen it actually beginning to end, excluding season 4, which I've only seen. So 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So seasons 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, I have seen, I don't know if I'm in the 50s yet, maybe 48 times the whole way through.
What?
Season 4, I think
48
season
times.
4.
I was expecting you to say 4 times.
I've seen it a lot.
Jesus. That's insane.
So
you just gotta play it on the background while you do other things.
Now, yes, but
you're gonna knock this game out of the park.
Well, that depends. I don't know.
I haven't seen Community, so I'm not able to pick the more lesser known quotes. So I think I just picked some of the pretty well known quotes. So I'm expecting you to get 100%.
Okay. If you're setting me up, and it will be so bad if I don't get any of them.
Okay, because in our inspiration podcast in Books Unbound, Ariel said she read Animal Farm 8 times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but then you're 6 times more than Okay, well, I'm expecting you to do very well. So the 2 books for me, I've read The Catcher in the Rye twice.
Yeah.
Very carefully both times. And the most recent time is also this year.
Yeah, right.
Rebecca, I've read 3 times. So twice I read the book and once I listened to the audiobook.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I should make it very clear, by the way.
Yeah.
One of my readings is probably a 10th of one of your readings.
What does that mean?
Because I read by not skimming, but almost skimming. I'm not
okay.
I'm not one of those people who reads every single carefully reads in their mind, reading the word aloud in their brain. I know some people do that.
I don't think I read it out loud either, but I do read very deeply. I think that's what.
Yeah. So I'm not like scared. I'm not like paying attention to every single word. So that's why I have to watch something like 50 times in order to get it. Like I'm like, oh, now I got it.
Oh, I kind of get that though. Cool. Okay, let's get started with Community. I cannot wait.
I don't know why you're so excited about this.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Oh god, this is gonna be so bad. If I can't
No,
get it.
I think it's gonna be fairly easy. Don't overthink it. Okay, the first quote, you'll definitely get it. I think 9/11 was bad, and freedom, that's just a little bit better.
Yeah, that's from the episode. That is from Community. It's from the episode where Jeff is running for like the office of like school council or whatever, opposing Annie. That's
oh, was he opposing Annie? I didn't tell from the clip.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? I'm feeling good about this.
See, I knew you could do well, and I think.
Wait, let me see if I can come up the rest of the line because I think it goes.
I think 9/11 was bad, and freedom, that's just a little bit better.
And then he says something about like, you know, like people like of the Hispanic community. He's like my friend Maria from Nicaragua or something, and he just starts like going on this. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's the quote.
Okay, well done. You're 1 out of 1 so far. Next one, I changed one word because that would definitely give it away if it's in Community or if it's not in Community.
Okay.
You don't argue with X. You let her argue with herself until she loses.
That's season 6, episode. Sorry, season 5. Jeff comes back to the school after leaving in season 4. He comes back as a teacher, and he has to teach law, but then he can't actually teach law because he's not a real lawyer and he has a fake law degree because that's the whole plot of the series. And so like he's like trying to teach the class, but he gets to an argument with Annie, and then he wins an argument with Annie, and then so X is Annie basically.
Oh my god, you're so good.
It's a good episode,
right? You're so good. Yeah, so you don't argue with Annie. You let her argue with herself until she loses.
And then it goes into the bit where he's like, "That's why I never lost a case, Ski Cap," or whatever the guy's name is, because prosecutors draw a circle and they say everything inside that circle is the truth, and therefore everything outside that circle is a lie. And then he starts explaining how to win arguments. Anyway, it's a great episode.
Damn. Wait, so he leaves in season 4? Is that why you don't like season 4?
No, so season 4, there's like a whole backstory to it. But basically in season 4, after season 3, Dan Harmon gets booted from the show. Partly because of that sexual like misconduct, harassment thing that he got into, where he like sexually harassed a young writer, like Megan Gans. And then and because he was fighting with everybody. He left in season 4. So season 4 was different showrunners. Then he came back on board for season 5.
Right. 2 for 2 so far.
Nice. I think it's the second episode of season 5.
Next one. As long as I can wear it or eat it, I'm happy.
I don't think that's a Community quote.
You're so good.
I don't remember that line at all. Like the only character who could say that is Chang, but it's not. I don't think it's him.
Oh, the Asian guy, Ken Jeong.
Yeah, because it's stupid enough, but I don't.
Yeah, so
or Troy, but I don't think that it is.
As long as I can wear it or eat it, I'm happy.
What is that from? That's an interesting line.
Apparently, it's from Fleabag.
Well, who says that?
It's a character called Boo.
Oh, the best friend.
Is it in season 2?
It's the first season.
Okay, I don't remember.
So Boo is the one who dies. Like, so you know how her whole trauma is that her friend killed herself while she was having sex with her boyfriend. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, but that's a Fleabag quote.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't remember that quote.
I love how you can pick out that with such razor sharp accuracy. And it's a very short line. You should be very proud of yourself.
It's because it doesn't sound like Community.
Next one. It's a funny one. Are you having fun? I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually I am. We're talking about Community. I couldn't not have fun. I could talk about it. I could like lock you away in a room and I could just do this whole podcast myself about Community. Okay. That's how good this is a great show. You should watch it.
Okay, next one. Who are you always texting? Everyone you know is here.
That is from Community. Jeff is texting I think
I
Troy
love
says it. I think Troy says it to Jeff.
I love how you know who Jeff is texting. Who is
No, he's not texting anyone.
Oh.
So in season, this is a quote from season 2 or 3.
Mhm.
In season 4, you find out that he's never actually texting anyone. Like it's just something he does to keep his hands busy. And so that becomes like
so dumb.
yeah, because he's like because he's got really bad anxiety about relationships and stuff. It's so he's
He needs to keep pretend text
he has to
to
pretend
engage his fingers.
his whole thing is that he's pretending to be cool.
Okay, you got that almost correct, I would say. It's not Troy.
Who is it?
It's Annie.
Ah,
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
Annie. Who are you always texting?
Yeah,
Everyone you know is here.
wait, hang on, wait. So do you know which season it's from?
No.
I think it's yeah, it's got to be one of those earlier seasons 2 or 3.
Next one.
You're right.
It's really funny. Next one. It's 2 lines. It's an exchange.
Okay.
It's an inanimate fucking object. You're an inanimate. No, I'm to say it again. It's an inanimate fucking object. You're an inanimate. You're an inanimate fucking object.
That's not from Community. But the reason I know that isn't because it's like anything.
Okay.
I do know it's from. Is it from like In Bruges or something?
Yeah, it's from In Bruges.
Because what I was pretty sure it was that. Like it was the In Bruges line. It's him yelling at what's the guy's name again? Rafe Fiennes' character.
Yeah.
Rafe Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
Um
Who is he yelling at?
who's he yelling at? Is it Brendan Gleeson's character? I can't remember.
No, he's the Ray Fiennes character is yelling at his wife.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Because this is after he hangs up. Is it after the like your cunt kids or whatever?
Yeah.
Fucking, it's so good. You can also you can kind of cheat because Community's a sitcom like network TV show.
Uh-huh.
The word fucking can't be in it.
Oh, damn it. Damn, I shouldn't have selected this
But also
quote.
I know the line. But for a lesser man,
You
There
know,
would've
when I was picking, I was actually like, I think it's pretty hard to find something that sounds like it's from Community. I feel like Community has set
Community.
up a very specific.
You can even try and look at
cast.
other sitcom like dialogue, and it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
But you know this about. You should have gotten like Rick and Morty lines, because
Okay.
that's the closest like you can get.
Yeah.
Or
I
like
tried
from Krapopolis. Yeah.
Okay, so far you are 5 for 5. Well done. Next line. I don't know what to do. My whole brain is crying.
That's Troy in season 2, Accounting for Lawyers, which is either episode 3 or episode 2 or something.
Christ.
And it's the one where so they chloroform a janitor,
Uh-huh.
and it's a great scene. Have you seen the actual scene? It's
Actually,
like
no,
Marlene-
I haven't.
It's Marlene's like favorite scene for
why does-
Community.
Shout out to Marlene, LP alumni. Why does Troy say his whole brain is crying?
Because what they do is they get caught in the room
Uh-huh.
by like a janitor, and the janitor's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And I can't remember the exact line. So I am off my game because otherwise I should know the line.
But you
they-
know the line. The line is, I don't know what to do.
No, but I don't know the lines around the
Oh,
line.
okay.
It's a line where they catch him and it's like, "You're not supposed to be here." And he's like, "I can explain. Let me explain." And then he can't explain. So then Annie
Oh.
chloroforms the guy.
Oh, okay.
And then Troy's like,
I don't know. Do you think this is an improvised line by Donald Glover?
it might, I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It could be.
Right, okay. 6 for 6. Damn, you're killing it. Now I feel like I've just picked bad quotes. But like in my defense, I gotta pick funny quotes. Like
Yeah.
lines that actually have meaning, are significant.
You
And
could pick-
I really think
But you could pick a
Community
random line and I could probably get it.
Community really has quite a distinctive style, I think.
And
especially when you
Community is
consider it-
really quotable.
Yeah, can consider it against the dynamics of the character.
Yeah.
Next one. You know what the weirdest part about having a job is? You have to be there every day, even on the days you don't feel like it.
That's not from Community.
You're correct.
Yeah, because I mean they're at a school, man. What is that from?
Saying
It's
it?
a sitcom. That's too dramatic a line for a sitcom.
Really?
And
This is, I believe this is from a sitcom.
really, what is
So
it
it's
from?
just a bad sitcom.
What is it from? What is it from?
It's from HBO's Girls.
I mean, I like Girls, but I don't remember that line from Girls. 2011, Girls.
Is this a sitcom? I just know
It is. Oh, kind of. It's like, it's
Yeah.
more like Fleabag than it is like, it's the pre-Fleabag show. Donald Glover's on it. As
Okay.
as
Donald Glover.
as Leonard Dunham's black Republican boyfriend. It's a good show.
Okay,
It's
I
actually
see.
a good show.
Is that why you watched it? Because Donald Glover's on it?
Yeah, I think that's what dragged me
Nice,
into
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, I love how you can kind of tell the difference in writing style from just that one line. Hey, you know what the weirdest part about having a job is? You have to be there every day, even on the days you don't feel like it. Yeah, that's not that impressive of a line, but it is on some list of best lines.
Yeah,
from
I'm sure
Girls.
it's like an iconic line within the scene, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't have that like my whole brain is crying, like or the inanimate fucking object.
The delivery is great though. My whole brain is crying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the line is
Yeah.
good. My brain is crying is good. Okay, 7 for 7. Jeez, you're killing it. Okay, next one. I think this one. Weddings are funerals with cake.
Oh,
Weddings are just funerals with cake.
I don't think that's a Community line.
Are you sure?
I don't think it is. I don't know because there's only one wedding in the show and it happens in like season. Hang on. There's two weddings in the show. There's a fake wedding between Jeff and Britta.
Okay, sure.
And then there's the re-wedding between Shirley and Andre, and I don't think it's either of those, or at least not that I'm aware of.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You're correct. Yet again, you're 8 for 8 right now. This is a Rick and Morty line. Of course it is, right? I thought you would have got that like way quicker, to be honest. But,
I was like, for a second, I'm like, hang on a second. I've only seen Rick and Morty. Which season is it from? Is that like from one of the early rants?
I believe it's from when Rick's best friend got married. That makes sense, right? Weddings are just funerals with cake. Because Rick was having a hard time when his best friend was getting married.
Yeah.
Okay. 8 for 8 so far. Next one. What's wrong? You came out of the bedroom smiling, and then your smile faded as you leaned against the door.
That's Community. That's in season
Fuck.
5, I think. I think that's season 5.
There is no beating you. Oh my God.
It's the episode where Annie is trying to help Britta get over a boyfriend and treating her like an addict. And so like she gave Britta back her phone at that scene. And that's Dean Pelton talking to Annie.
Is he the gay teacher?
He's not a gay Dean. There's a whole episode about that.
Oh, okay, right.
He's
right.
gay, but he's not just gay. That was the whole. That's the
Okay,
whole
okay.
like he's got a whole episode about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This line, I think this line's kind of funny. Is it really funny in the context?
It's because of Dean Pelton's delivery. It's like because she walks outside and she's like, you just see her give Britta her phone back because Britta manipulated her by calling her sister. I've always thought of us like sisters, and so she gives the phone back, and then so she starts texting her ex or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely see it's one of those lines that's funnier in the delivery.
And then Dean Pelton's like,
yeah, you came out of the bedroom smiling, and then your smile faded.
Your smile faded.
And as you leaned against the door.
As you leaned against the door.
Damn. Okay. I have to beat you at least once, I think. You got 9 out of 9 so far.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, this one is very funny, but you'll definitely know. I mean, I've prepared more quotes than 10, so after you get your 10, we'll just go through some of them to just talk about them. This one. I'm just trying to pick which one will trip you up the most.
Is it the sperm one? Because the sperm one's pretty obvious.
I don't have a sperm one. Tell me.
What about Ice Cube Head? Did you get the Ice Cube Head line?
No.
Because that's like almost sounds like a Rick and Morty line. Because it was made in 2015 when he had started working on the pilot for Rick and Morty.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. I really want to get this one in. Oh, but I feel like this is going to be too easy. Damn it.
You can try them all. Try them all on me. I think I should get them all.
When you look at somebody through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags.
Oh, hang on. That's not from Community.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Damn, you're
What's
right.
it from? It's from I sent it to someone like 2 weeks ago.
I think, was it me?
Maybe I sent it to you. Why would you use that?
No. It was either me or the group chat.
Why would you use that?
Because I really like that line, and I had to get something from
What was
BoJack
it from
Horseman.
then? Why did I send
BoJack
it?
Horseman? Because I really wanted to get something from BoJack Horseman in there, you know?
Yeah.
But then, as I was going through all the Rick and Morty and BoJack Horseman quotes, I realized they're very different from Community still.
Yeah.
See, this one, the rose-colored glasses. When you look at somebody through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags.
Yeah.
That's such a more emotional line. I don't think Community would have that.
Community's emotional lines are usually longer, and the problem is that I know the characters so well. All I have to do is like think about what the characters say this. Whereas it's different with writing, right? Because if you write a book,
Yeah.
there's a line, but the line is said by the narrator. So like you can kind of impose a narrative voice on it. When you can see the character's voice, you can hear the character's voice in the line, you're like, oh.
Well, that's the advantage of theater, right?
Yeah, I'm it's much harder to get these wrong.
Damn it. You got 10 out of 10. I hate you. This is the
Do you want to try
hard?
Like, do you have any harder ones?
I have a bunch of other ones, but I think they would be easier.
Oh, okay.
Because, say this one. I need to send this email before the post office closes.
What?
I need to send this email before the post office closes.
That could actually be a Community line, but I don't remember it. Yeah,
What's
like
your answer?
if it is, it'll be Dean Pelton saying that. But I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure about that.
Okay, we're expanding the game, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a Community line.
Is it Dean Pelton?
I don't know. Let me find out right now.
Because that was the only way it could be a Community line.
Damn, oh my god, the quote is not coming up on Google. So I pulled this from one of the comment sections under one of the popular Community quotes videos on YouTube. So I don't have any sources for this one.
So you don't even know if it's real.
I don't know if it's real.
I think it because no because there's I think it would be the dean. If it is a Community quote, it'll be the dean. And if it's the dean, it's because it's part of, so there's like a 3-episode short called Dean Pelton's Office Hours, where like he has to solve this sort of like mystery by talking to 3 people or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they're all side characters. And I think in one of them he's like holding up an envelope maybe, and he's like,
okay,
I better get this to the post. I think it might be it, but I'm not sure.
Damn, okay. You know what? I think you should still get that one.
No, I don't know. Like it might not be.
That's crazy. Because I don't have legitimate sources. Okay. The other ones that I have, I think, oh shit, I should have asked you about this one.
I just ask it.
I think our opinions about pop culture are fed to
Britta.
us.
It's Britta and then like she's saying that, and then she's in a theater class. It's season 5. It's the episode where they're in a class about Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Yeah,
Nicolas Cage, good or bad?
But I haven't even finished the quote yet. Let me finish the quote.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you want to finish it? I think our opinions about
pop culture are shaped through something designed to make us, and she's interrupted by Kevin Corrigan's character, who I don't remember his name, but he plays Professor Professorson in like season 2, and he says "good one" to interrupt her. Like
good one. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah. You're right. Damn,
he's like,
you're so good.
One.
Yeah. So our opinions about pop culture are fed to us by machines designed to criminalize human autonomy. That's crazy. Did you say I'm similar to Annie? Because I feel like from this line, I'm more similar to Britta.
I think no, you're similar to Annie in your like uptightness, I guess.
But isn't this uptight?
She's not
This
uptight.
is Britta, right?
She's just a social justice warrior. So I think Dan Harmon uses her as like a mouthpiece for his own political views.
Right. Okay.
He just like chucks all of his shit in there.
Okay, here's this one other one. Last one before we go
onto yours.
Before we do mine. I will not do nearly as good as you, I don't think. Here. Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. We're all going to die.
Yeah,
Come and watch TV.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
So it's so good. But that's more like what that's more what the lines from Community. Like if the problem with picking a Rick and Morty one is that I already know that it's from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly. And I think even though the vibe is kind of similar, that nihilism,
Yeah.
but it's still noticeably different, noticeably out of place in Community.
It's because because the lines. Well, people like Dan Harmon because the characters are so alive and so specific, and so anytime you read a line from a character,
you can tell which character.
You know which character's saying it.
Okay, here's one more. Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah, that's Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Damn, you're so good. Go away. Oh my god.
It's TV.
You completely aced everything except the quote that has illegitimate origin.
I think it actually is. I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch that and I'll let you know. I think it might actually be that from an offshoot.
Damn. Okay, I think you deserve a round of applause.
Yay.
Well done. Well done. I had
Derek,
a lot of fun.
well-known Community fan, does well on Community section of game.
You haven't been lying to our listeners. You have proved yourself. You should be very proud. Congratulations.
Thank you kindly.
Oh my god.
You can't see, but I'm bowing.
He's not bowing.
Curtsying, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we can move on to yours
Yes.
now.
Okay. So JD Salinger. Oh my god.
Yeah, JD Salinger, I guess, needs no introduction, right? Like,
he is known for being the author of The Catcher in the Rye, which is referenced a lot in BoJack Horseman, actually.
Yeah, you can tell. But like BoJack, the writer, I forget the name of the writer from BoJack Horseman, but he's very literary. Like you can
tell from the BoJack Horseman.
And most TV writers are not literary.
Really?
I don't think so.
The show that BoJack Horseman stars in, Horsing Around.
Well, what is that based on? It's like
the phrase "horsing around" is like a signature phrase in The Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, really?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Like Holden says it all the time. He's like, I was horsing around with this.
He also
girl.
says "crumby" a lot, which I don't.
Crumby, yeah.
I do. As I was doing like kind of research for this thing, because I didn't have a copy of the book, and I wasn't gonna buy it just to.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm like, I'm gonna reread it because I do. Because you know what it is? It's like, this how I feel about the book is it's like, it's all the instincts that I have, and then I know that they're wrong. Like
but
that's
else
the whole
indulges in them, kind of.
Yeah. That's why I find the character annoying, because I'm like, I know these thoughts. I have these thoughts. These are reasonable thoughts to have, but you got to grow up and be like, that's actually not true.
Well, I'm really curious to hear what you think if you do decide to read it again.
Anyway, these quotes.
Okay, damn, fine. Okay.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
I like the first one was literally like I picked the most famous one because I was like,
is it the opening line?
I actually don't know.
I might be able to. Okay.
Wait, tell me the opening line.
Yeah, I can tell you the opening line.
What's the opening line?
If you really want to hear about it, well, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born, what my lousy childhood was like, what my parents were doing and all before they had me, and all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it if you want to know the truth.
He's such a dickhead. I really love the character.
I love the first line. It's iconic.
But this
I got it right. You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, it's like it was delivered with such confidence.
Yeah. No, because it's a very, very famous first line, and it famously references David Copperfield.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
And I love art that references other pop cultural art.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one to start is just like, it's actually easy.
Well, you don't tell, because you got a mix of quotes from the book and from outside the book, right?
But this one, like, I'm not even going to bother almost.
Okay, just read it.
Grand. Do you want to read the rest of the quote?
You just gave me the first word.
Yeah, do you know the word? Do you know the quote?
Grand?
Grand.
No, I do not know the quote from just one word.
Grand. There's a word I really hate. Oh, you don't know this quote?
Oh my god, what the fuck? Keep going.
Grand, there's a word I really hate. It's a phony. I could puke every time I hear it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is.
That's like I thought that was
the
like quote. I thought that was the.
Actually, no. See, this is what's interesting. Like every work, however good work, has like a bunch of top quotes for different people.
Because phony, like he says the word phony every fucking.
Phony is.
And I think is that the first time he says it? I think it's quite early on. I'm pretty sure this quote is.
Can you read that? Can you read that quote again? I love it.
Grand. There's a word I really hate. It's a phony. I could puke every time I hear it. It's got such like vitriol to it.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Holden Caulfield. It's
I
like
know.
needless vitriol.
I'm so jealous. It's like this, and it's a very teenage twang. It's like, it's a teenage kind of like...
I don't know. I've never really grown out of sounding like this.
I think it's that, instinctive dislike that tells you to stay away from certain things. And then you don't know how to explain it. So all you can say is just, I really hate it. Mark it down. I've got 1 point.
Yeah. All right. You get 1 point for this quote or for the quote that I asked you for the opening line.
Let's just put 1 point.
We'll
now.
give you 1 point because I just straight up gave it to you anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask.
Mm.
Yeah, because by the time you said, but when it gets to it's a phony, you'd be like, yeah, that's him. I was gonna say the reason I was even thinking about this quote was because I was thinking about John Lennon. I know I've been in this weird Oasis hole with like the Oasis reunion, so I've been like listening to John Lennon, and then like John Lennon's like killer. Famously John Lennon was killed.
Yeah.
And the reason he was killed was because there was a guy like Chapman or something who, like a random security guard or whatever, who fucking loves Catcher in the Rye. And he got obsessed with it and he made it part of his identity. And he was like, I hate phony things. You know what fucking phony? John Lennon.
Oh my God.
And then he fucking killed John Lennon. That's why Holden Caulfield is like a school shooter's book. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like a fucking manifesto book. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, in its defense, it also inspired works like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. Okay. So the next quote is this Catcher in the Rye or not? I'm quite literate, but I don't read a whole lot.
I think you got the quote wrong.
Is it? Well, so what's your answer? Yes or no?
Say the quote again.
I'm quite literate, but I don't read a whole lot.
The quote from The Catcher in the Rye goes, I'm quite illiterate, but I read a lot.
Yeah, you're correct.
Oh, you made up a quote. Damn.
It's because it's what I say.
Damn you, Derek! I hate you. Stop saying that. Oh, I'm illiterate, but I don't read a lot. You read a lot. Like, I haven't exposed you for how many Murakami books you have read yet. You've read an astonishing amount. You've read more Murakami than most people have read books in their life.
Because they were so easy to read. Like once I read the first one, I was like, oh, this is really easy.
People do not find you know what? That's a whole other thing. But yeah, this quote, that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite quotes.
It's a great quote, right?
Yeah, I'm quite illiterate, but I read a lot.
It's the sort of nonsense that's like...
Yeah, and then in the book, it's a thing where the 4 siblings of the Holden Caulfield family, they all have literary talents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his younger sister, Phoebe, writes diaries and little plays.
Yeah.
His younger brother, who died, writes poems on his baseball glove, famously. And then his older brother is a writer in Hollywood, which Holden thinks is a phony. And then Holden himself wrote this book, of course.
All right. So you get 2 points so far. Number 3. It's another one of these. Is it a quote from J.D. Salinger or is it something that I've said? I like it when someone gets excited about something. It's nice.
That is a quote from The Catcher in the Rye.
Should I give you half points because I also say it all the time? I don't know.
But go away. Like just the fact that the fact that you also say it does not take away from my victory.
All right.
Yeah.
3 of 3.
I love it. I love it when people get excited about something. It's nice. But...
Okay, next one. Make sure you marry someone who laughs at the same things you do.
Make sure you love someone. Marry someone.
Yeah. Make
sure you marry someone who laughs at the same thing that you do. I know that quote, and that is not from The Catcher in the Rye. No, I don't think that's from The Catcher in the Rye.
It's from Catcher in the Rye. I don't know where it's from. We can look it up.
You're kidding! Oh my God.
You should look it up. You should look it up.
Damn it, I'm not seeing it anywhere.
We can do some research and come back to it on a further episode.
Oh my God, I can't believe I tripped up. Well, I mean, I know the quote.
There's a lot
more. Definitely know the quote. Make sure you marry someone who... Wow. Damn. I'm defeated.
He was too happy. He was like... To be fair, there are a lot of more words in a book than there are in a TV show.
Yeah, and then you don't get that audio input.
Yeah.
It's the
You got to read them
it's the
yourself.
reading book, yeah.
It's a different game altogether.
All right, I'll have to get you back at your Murakami round. All right, hit me with the next one.
All right, okay. The world is not a wish granting factory.
That is John Green. That is The Fault in Our Stars by
Nice,
John
yeah.
Green. Let me see if I can remember which character from The Fault in Our Stars. Not a wish granting. I think it might be Hazel. You don't know? Okay.
Dude, I
Derek
don't.
is shaking his head. It's
I-
fine.
I-
It's fine. But I know it. That's
So-
definitely John Green. The Fault in Our Stars.
All right. Next one. So you're what? 4 or 5? 4 or 5?
Mm.
All right. What a treacherous thing to believe that a person is more than a person.
What a treacherous thing to believe that a person is more than a person.
Mhm.
That's not The Catcher in the Rye.
Okay.
My answer is no. That's not The Catcher in the Rye.
You're correct.
But I don't know where it's from. I don't think I know the.
It's John Green from Paper Towns.
I read Paper Towns,
Yeah, it's from
but
Paper
I read
Towns.
it too many years ago. I don't
Yeah.
remember anything.
Paper Towns is the 500 days of summer of
Of John Green.
of John Green. Like it's just
John Greenism.
it's because it's the
Wait, say again. It's not treacherous. It's treacherous.
what a treacherous thing to believe that a person is more than a person.
Okay. Paper Towns.
Jesus. We're not even done yet.
Okay, let's keep going.
You were coming across as clever and you lit the wrong end of your cigarette.
You're coming across as clever, and then you lit the wrong side of your cigarette.
The wrong end of your
The
cigarette.
wrong end of your cigarette. Oh my god. I feel like it's a clever choice because Holden smokes a lot in the Catcher in the Rye,
Mhm.
and he does try to sound clever sometimes.
He usually tries to sound clever.
Yeah, but my gut is telling me that this is not the Catcher in the Rye.
You're correct. It's a 1975 lyric.
What?
It's a lyric by the 1975.
Is that a band?
Yeah, it's a band. It's a wanky band.
Oh my god.
It's a
You're
wanky band known for teenage angst.
Oh my god, I feel like they've read The Catcher in the Rye to write that lyric.
He's also read a lot of it's like my favorite band.
You
Like
lit the wrong end of the cigarette. That's
it's a good line, right?
That's very clever, and a very clever choice for you, Derek. Very clever.
I was working overtime. I stayed up to do this.
Oh my god.
All you have to do is say something nobody understands, and they'll do practically anything you want them to.
I have an instinct that it is from The Catcher in the Rye, but can you say it again?
All you have to do is say something no one understands, and they'll do practically anything you want them to.
If this is from The Catcher in the Rye, I think it would be in that hotel lobby bit where he was trying to get someone to do something, and then he just bullshitted something else to utterly confuse the other person.
Is that the scene where he's like talking to the sex worker and then like
No,
He just
different
want-
one,
oh,
different
okay.
one, different scene. Oh shit!
So what's your decision?
Can you say it again?
All you have to do is say something no one understands, and they'll do practically anything you want them to.
Why didn't you pick the lying one? The liar one is so easy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I saw that one and I was like, no, not using it.
Okay, I'm gonna guess yes. It is. It is.
You're correct.
Oh, thank fuck. Yes. Oh,
All right.
yeah. How many am I?
You're 7 of 8.
7 of 8. Okay.
9. The best teacher's experience, and not through someone's distorted point of view.
Oh, that is not The Catcher in the Rye.
Damn. Nice.
The best teacher is experience and not someone's distorted point of view.
Yeah.
Where is it from?
It's Jack Kerouac's On the Road. Because I've been
Oh,
reading it, so I
really?
was like, oh, just check it
Oh, very good.
out.
Oh my god, that's such a good point to bring up because that line it doesn't make sense within The Catcher in the Rye's the view at all.
Yeah. I was trying to see if like maybe there's
Yeah.
a.
That's what's genius about it, right? Because Holden doesn't make that kind of assertion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like, oh fuck.
No, thank you gave me one. That was good.
All right. Okay. So that's
Okay.
the next one. I wouldn't describe her as strictly beautiful. She knocked me out though.
Oh. The first part of that, I wouldn't describe her as strictly beautiful. That one, I was like, but she knocked me out. That's massive Holden vibes. I think that's the catch in the rye.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm trying to think which one. Oh, I mean, I think Holden's talking about Jane Gallagher.
Jane Gallagher.
Jane Gallagher. Oh, that's
Is she that's at the beginning of the
beginning. That's such a heartbreaking moment where this phony guy that shares a dorm with Holden is going on this date that Holden really likes. I think he's
that's the biggest incel energy is at that moment.
Okay, I think he's describing Jane here. I think so.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Even I kind of vaguely remember this.
Yeah, but yeah, this knock me out. He loves saying that.
Yeah, that's shitly knock me out.
Oh, okay. So I'm what 9 for 10 for now. Oh.
I have one more. Anyway.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Nobody likes being alone that much. I don't go out of my way to make friends. That's all. Just leads to disappointment. Nobody likes being alone that much. I don't go out of my way to make friends. That's all. It just leads to disappointment.
No, that's not the catch in the rye.
It's not.
Oh.
It's a Murakami line.
Oh, is it? Maybe it's on my list. Actually, no, it's not. It's
all right.
on my list.
So you got 10 out of 11.
10 out of 11. Oh. Thank fuck. I'm surprised.
What was the one that you got wrong? I can't remember now.
The marrying one.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure you marry someone who laughs at the same thing. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. I did well. It would have been better if I got all of them correct. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't pick any other J.D. Salinger quotes from his other books.
Do you think I know any other J.D. Salinger books?
You can just go to Goodreads and click on his name, and it'll give you a bunch of quotes from his other works. No, I like the 1975 quote that you picked. That was really clever.
Did I nearly get you? I was like really trying. I was like,
that was a really good, because he smokes so much and then he always tries to.
I'm not joking. I was like listening to like the albums and I was like, maybe there's something in here. There has to be.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So what's the next one? Is it the Murakami one?
Yes. Let's do that.
Man, I'm gonna get like 2.
Let's take a short break first.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, now let's talk about The Hole by Hiroko Oyamada, author of Weasels in the Attic. That's what it says on the cover. Lots of praise for this book from Patti Smith, from New York Times, Monique Trong. It says on the back here that as I tried to move, I realized how narrow the hole really was. The hole felt as though it was exactly my size, a trap made just for me. So it's a story about a woman falling down a hole.
Yeah, really good blurb, right?
Would you like to read this blurb, actually?
Sure. When Asa's husband is offered a new job away from the city, the couple ends up relocating. And since his new office is very close to his family's home, it makes sense to move in next door to his parents. Through the long, hot summer, Asa does her best to adjust to their new rural lives, to the constant presence of her in-laws, to the emptiness of her existence, and the incessant buzz of cicadas. Then one day, while running an errand for her mother-in-law, she comes across a strange creature, follows it to the embankment of a river, and ends up falling into a hole that seems to have been made specifically for her. Thus begins a series of bizarre experiences that drives Asa deeper into the mysteries of this rural landscape and the family she is married into, leading her to question her role in this world and eventually who she even is.
Thank you. Okay, should we do the 5-word summary for this one as well?
Yes.
My 5 words are not very considered. It's just, I felt intrigued, but not mind blown.
I really relate to that, to be honest. Yeah, the other 5 words that I would give more on the story is like relatable for people without jobs. Yeah.
Hey, there was that one bit in Convenience Store Woman that's also relatable to unemployment, right?
Definitely. Well, because, I think they cover pretty similar ground.
Yes, although one aspect that's distinct in the whole is that daughter-in-law and mother-in-law relationship. And I'm actually curious to hear what
That's
you
very
think.
specific.
It is very specific. I'm curious to hear what you think of it because I think that's a very Asian thing to have. Do you know? It's like common culture for the mother-in-law to hate the daughter-in-law. Like it's common for there to be conflicts and that it's a accepted
I feel like
part
that's
of marriage.
everywhere, isn't it? It's always like, oh, my in-laws. I have to see the in-laws. My mother-in-law is like the devil incarnate.
Yeah,
like
but
even
that's
in Western culture, there's like movies about it.
yes, I've seen white women on Instagram complaining about this, but I feel like in Asia it's like a whole nother ball game because it's never say the son and the father-in-law. It's always the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law.
Right.
It's that complicated relationship between men and women under the patriarchy, and this is definitely a result of that.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well, especially in cultures where it's very much it's kind of expected for, say, if you're the bride moving into the house, like in this situation, moving to the house of the man and his family, then it's kind of like, oh, now you're going to take the role that the mother of that house took previously, and now you're like the maid or the whatever, the servant of the house.
Exactly. And it's always that the young man, whose side is he on? Is he on his mother's side or is he on his wife's side?
Yeah.
And then a woman in that family, you always have to have a man's support almost to have any power. And then, of course, the way to gain power is to give birth to a son so that when he grows up and marries, you can bully his
That's very
wife.
dynastic thinking of you.
It is. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
And there's that one amazing detail in the beginning of this book where Asa and her husband, they're moving in to the house, and the Asa's mother-in-law is just kind of there hanging around the house giving instructions to the movers, and then the mover is like to Asa, yo, who's this? And Asa's like, that's my mother-in-law. And then the mover had a knowing smile. That knowing smile is definitely because he understands it's that tension between daughter-in-law and mother-in-law. I love the constant cicada buzzing.
Yeah.
And then the oppressive humid weather, hot weather. It's almost like before she fell in the hole, she was already in a hole, which of course is the point.
Yeah.
You know, like the hole is like, I think the hole, is this a spoiler?
I don't know, because if it's like a largely vibe, you know, again, it doesn't have a big plot.
Minimal plot, vibes only.
I guess if you're trying to keep it spoiler free, because it's very literary fiction-y, what you're trying to do is not force an interpretation on the reader.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe that's what we should separate out a little bit.
Yes. So before we jump into the spoiler section, I guess, what I can say in the spoiler-free one is that I was comparing it a little bit to The Vegetarian, which is, of course, featured in our first ever and very successful book club episode, because it's got that, what you said, that dreamlike, confusing quality where things are surreal. I would say surreal. Not fantastical, not like medieval fantasy vibes at all, but it's definitely surreal, very modern. Like things are happening where you don't make sense of it.
Yeah, and I think the difference between that is like surreal's ordinary things happening in a strange way.
Yeah.
Kind of opposite to Convenience Store Woman, because this is set rural. I think the natural landscape really has a voice of its own because it feels very oppressive, especially with the heat.
Oh yeah, beyond the oppressive weather, it's the oppressive environment as well, right? In the beginning, when she's describing that she's a part-time employee as opposed to she's not a part-time. She's a contractor, not a permanent.
I think she was not a permanent, and that's why it was easy for her to move.
I guess this must be a Japan thing then. I haven't really worked in Asia, but
It feels like there's a real like almost class distinction based on the
Huge.
type, like the exact contract of employment that you're doing.
yeah, which is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
I guess here there is that here as in Australia there is a little bit of difference obviously in terms of how you're paid and stuff, but I can't imagine that you will go
It's
out to
really not
separate
as prominent.
lunches
Yeah.
because you're not a permanent employee.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of like when I was contracting and I was part-time, I felt a little bit distant from the company, but not in a really like explicit way. Like here, it really feels like being in school and being like funneled into different classes or grades.
Classes very much, I think.
Yeah, because there's so much about the work experience that it is different based on the contract that you have. I think they were saying like, oh, you also get like kind of bonuses as part of your weekly or monthly salary or something. And the one for permanent employees was far better than the ones for part-time. Like it was a bit of a scam for part-time or non-permanents or something.
Yeah.
And they have different schedules, and because I think at least the way that they describe it, because the working style is so much more rigid and regimented, those differences really come to the fore very easily.
I guess, yeah. Should we go to spoiler?
Yeah.
I think we can move on to the spoiler section now. Yeah, the whole children thing and the brother-in-law, that was so unsettling.
Yeah, do you want to explain more?
At one point, the main character, Asa, made a trip to a convenience store to get money, to get cash. And there was a bunch of children, like, reading manga in the store and kind of getting in her way. And the children are being kind of rude and inconsiderate. But then, like, when she goes out to the woods where she eventually fell into a hole.
Yeah, they're just children in the
There are
woods
children
for some reason.
in the woods or, like, and then playing. And then there are so many of them. And then...
Yeah,
but like it's meant to be,
it's like they are the wildlife as well.
Yeah, and then but it's meant to be a rural town where most people are old and retired. So like, where are all these children? And you get the sense that only Asa sees the children and no one else sees them.
It feels a little bit like, you know, Spirited Away. Please tell me you've seen Spirited Away.
I have too many years ago now. I don't remember that much of it.
Because there are like these characters that are like classes of people or whatever that populate the landscape, but the way that they do doesn't exactly make sense in terms of like the normal rhythms of how a human being would live. It's like, why are these children out in the woods in the middle of the day, like all together catching butterflies or something? With a random old man. Yeah. And it feels like they're part of this separate realm, like a spirit realm or something that only Asa can see. And maybe just to lay out the plot a little bit. So like, yeah, Asa moves into this house. Like her direct family is a little bit hostile, and her husband is just a totally disengaged and
workaholic,
annoying,
never home.
Workaholic. She also has a lot of these like gaps in her memory. So like she can't really describe what her husband does, what her mother-in-law does for work, what she does for work.
Oh, do you interpret that as gaps in memory? I just felt like that was just that you don't treat your daughter-in-law as like seriously, like you don't share aspect of your life with her. That's how I
because of the mother-in-law thing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, partly
then,
this is because it was something I read online after. I didn't really think about the memory thing as much, but people seem to really think, oh, there's something wrong with her memory because she's really vague about the details. So there's a bit of an unreliable narrator thing. But a lot of the book is like the good solid like middle chunk is her going out trying to do normal chores, and she just like encounters weird shit. Like the holes, the animal that leads her to the hole, which she can't quite make out what it is, like seeing all these children, meeting a strange man.
Yeah, so the strange man, he claims to be her brother-in-law, so her husband's older brother, but then no one from her husband's family had ever mentioned his existence to her at all. And the man lives in like some shed in the back, right? And it's unclear whether his mom and his younger brother, so he claims, even knows he exists. And he has a strange relationship with the roaming children as well. Yeah. The children call him sensei. Yeah. So, but like by the end,
I'm random loser.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
And there's a bit where like he's reaching through the fence to
play
with the other child, like through a wall.
Yeah, and then his hand is all squeezed red as well.
To
yeah. That was so strange.
I did not. There's probably a lot of stuff that went over my head. I don't know if it was just there to create, like, continue the atmosphere, or if there was an explicit symbolic meaning.
Okay. If there was, I definitely missed it as well. But it definitely creates that whole surreal thing where it feels like the creature, the children, and this weird man are all part of her hallucination.
I think at the beginning where she first ventures out and she's talking about the cicadas and she's talking about how she sees, because it's the father-in-law, right? That's the old man, and he's just standing outside, perpetually watering.
Grandpa, actually. So her husband's grandpa.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's weird. And the way that his teeth is constantly described.
Like, describe his teeth.
Like, she's just kept saying how his smile is eerily too wide. And then he's just, constantly holding a hose, watering nothing.
Like in the same spot. Like at night even. And she'll like wave to him and try to talk to him and he doesn't acknowledge her existence. The way I interpret it is at first you're like, oh, this stuff is really weird. Like she's seen this animal taken her to a hole. And they seem like kind of events that are specific to her that I'm like, maybe she's just going crazy. Okay, so this is representing just her going crazy because she's moved into her husband's house and she's losing a grip of her life. She has no employment. She doesn't know who she is or where she is. But then when they actually bring in the children and the brother-in-law, that's when I was like, oh, actually, like this is about this whole class of outsiders in society, and it's this separate reality that they all share together because the brother-in-law also sees the weird animal thing and the children do too.
Oh, yeah.
But other like normal people who are going about their day-to-day don't really, and that's one of the things the brother-in-law says is like, oh, there's lots of these things here, but most people just don't notice them because they don't have the time. They have a job or something to occupy them. But her, like, she has this totally different vantage point where at first you think she's just crazy. It's like the relativity of, like, normalcy. And
yeah, wow. I actually think that's a super valid interpretation. And, like, it makes a lot of sense to me. Yes, because...
Yeah, because, like, if you have a crazy dream, it's like, okay, you're a crazy person. But if you have the same crazy dream as a bunch of people, then you're just class solidarity, man.
It's... I love what you said about the separate realm thing. Yeah, it is like that she has somehow crossed the boundary into the other world where it's the world that she shares with, you know, the children and the animal as well.
And I think it's kind of an extension of what we were talking about earlier, like in the first bit where she's still at her workplace and she's talking about the different classes of people based off their contract. It's like an extension of that social stratification. Like there's this one layer where you're at work and you can visibly see like permanents are different from non-permanents. And then when she moves out to the country, she sees, oh, there's all these different layers of people and they kind of don't see each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think something that the brother-in-law said supports this interpretation. I can't find the exact line now, but he said something like, oh, is it my fault for choosing this life or to like leaving the old life behind or choosing this life? Maybe that's...
What life was he choosing? Like doing nothing?
Like the living out in the shed and being weird, I guess. That's I think that's what you were saying, like a whole different world, a parallel world that they're now living in. Okay, I guess a really good question for this book is that in the face of all the confusion, what made you keep reading? Because I think I know my answer to that one, and it's a really important question to ask because like when you're trying to be surreal, like you're gonna have to hook the reader in somehow. Like how do you, when you don't have a clear step, like how do you expect them to still want to follow you? And for me, it's actually the very clear, the cicadas. The constant buzzing, the weather. It's like I keep seeing these recurring themes so that even when everything else, strange things keeps popping up,
right,
when I see these like recurring images and motifs, they like create this rhythm that makes me want to keep going.
For me, I knew it wouldn't be resolved in any clear way, but I was really interested to see where the whole thing could lead. And I was a little bit disappointed when there was actually a decent stretch of pages where it wasn't really mentioned for a little while.
Yeah.
Not until kind of the very end one more time. And I also found the conversation with the brother-in-law really interesting as well.
How did you feel about the mother-in-law? I felt that bit where she asked Asa to get money, but ended up like shortchanging her.
Oh my god, yeah, I thought about that bit as well a lot as well.
I thought that was just so accurate.
Was it intentional? Like she was just like,
oh, completely. Like I think it's such a petty way to just bully someone.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, you didn't think it was intentional?
Well, I didn't know about this like mother-in-law thing as much. So I just thought, oh, this is another stupid thing of her being crazy. Or not being crazy, but the whole absurdity of it.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Funny detail.
It did occur to me that it could be interpreted that way. When she realized she has been shortchanged, she's like, I don't know how to bring it up to her. And that's really relatable to me for some reason.
Yeah, because it was like her mother-in-law had asked her to do this chore, like put in a deposit at the convenience store. And then when she got the convenience store, they were like, oh, you don't have enough money for what's on this check or something. And she's like embarrassed. So she has to go and get money from the ATM.
Yeah.
And she does it and she comes back and she's like, she's just very vaguely to her mother-in-law, oh, there wasn't enough money in the envelope, but she didn't want to say exactly how much because that's like, that would seem petty, which might be a bit of a cultural thing as well because I'm a bit like, I wouldn't really care. Like, I'd be like, give me $300. That's what I need.
That's exactly the kind of thing that you should hide from your mother-in-law.
Oh, I see.
Because
maybe it would imply that you're an idiot. You didn't put enough money in that.
To imply that you're trying to get money off me, which she was totally trying to do.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to respect.
You can game that, like, the game of politeness quite a lot. Into manipulation.
I think that's what's happening.
And gaslighting. Yeah, and then like her mother-in-law just totally, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. What? I'm so stupid. I'm so silly. And then she just gives her way less money at all.
That's what actually convinced me that the whole thing is deliberate. Because like once that she said, oh, I'm so sorry, like that she even like further could not say anything
or something.
Yeah. But once she said that, Asa could not protest even less. I think to interpret the whole story as just a critique on marriage and patriarchy is a bit not enough because I think it's more surreal and more ambitious than that. But
I agree.
I do think the ending line of her turning into her mother-in-law kind of goes back to that marriage and patriarchy thing.
Yeah, I think it's a really big frame of the story. I mean, I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense as an ending. It wasn't the most satisfying ending, but it kind of made sense. What does the whole represent, do you think? Like, what does it represent?
One thing is if it represents the country wife lifestyle, right? A trap.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like on the surface level interpretation. But maybe on the other side is that being on the fringes, like what you said. That if you're on the fringes,
maybe that's about it.
If you're on the fringes, you're more prone to falling into a hole.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
okay, I think that's it to our discussion today.
Yeah, I have two. I went through Goodreads.
Okay.
And the 1-star reviews. And I found 2 reviews that I thought were funny for both novels.
Okay. Hit me with them.
Okay. 1-star review for The Hull. God, this book sucked. City rat moves to the country and it's too loud for her. Boring shit ensues.
Oh my god. You guys need to follow So Bad It's Goodreads on Instagram. It is the best place for like passive aggressive readers, literary nerds.
I only read the short ones though.
Yeah, same to be honest. And then there was one bit I was like, this book is written in a style that would have benefited from not being published. Not these 2 books today, but like that was just such an epic review that I don't remember what the book is. It's just would have benefited from not being published.
Yeah. So good. Convenience Store Woman. A book of we live in a society drivel.
Yes, but I love it.
And the like SpongeBob upper lowercase. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah, you can write a bad review about any book in really stupid reductive terms like this.
You can.
Which is why these are so funny.
Yeah, so funny.
It's like, yeah, you're right. But I enjoyed it. So
I love Goodreads. It's the worst app and the worst website in terms of like quality and user experience, but like
I love how old it is.
it's the book nerds that make it fun, you know.
Anything you have to say about like comparison or contrast between the two? Them as a pair, you know, like a wine and a meal. How did they go?
Well, similarities, both, you know, young Japanese women. I don't know. I just like Convenience Store Woman so much more.
Very different audiences.
Convenience Store Woman is, I can definitely see it being more appealing to a wider audience, much wider audience.
I do think the whole can be more rewarding because
Really?
it's so confusing. That's the way that I felt. It's like if you want your book to be a little bit of a puzzle.
Yeah, and I love that they both have this, you know, being detached from the usual structure of society and of
I think
life,
they deal
right?
with similar themes of like social alienation and loneliness. But it feels like Convenience Store Woman, you're taking the point of view of this woman. She's like, wow, everyone else in society is crazy. And then in the whole, it's more like, am I crazy? Is everyone crazy? Who's crazy? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're for different moods of the day, I think. I will admit, I read the whole in a bit of a crunch to make today's recording. If I had a bit more time to kind of slowly take it in, I probably would have liked it a little bit more.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think it's good to let it marinate a little bit.
Yeah. I think writing-wise, they're both very succinct and direct, which I deeply appreciate.
Yes, I did just visually because I'm kind of easily distracted on a page. I didn't like how big the blocks of paragraphs were.
Oh.
That kind of annoys me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a major thing with the whole is that there are not a lot of paragraph breaks. Even with dialogue, the dialogue is not broken into separate paragraphs.
Yeah, but overall, like quite literal, and most of the philosophical stuff is done through like dialogue or symbolism or interactions of some sort, which is not usually the type of book that I read, but I appreciate them because they're kind of clear.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up our discussion. I had so much fun.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you so much, Marlene, for appearing on Licensed Poetics again.
Thank you for having me for a book club. I'm glad you value my opinion.
Oh, I value your opinion so much.
I will validate you as much as you want.
Okay, before I close off, just a reminder that if you'd like to support Licensed Poetics, you can head to buymeacoffee.com/licensedpoetics. There is exclusive content there for supporters and for members. Okay, so that's it for today's episode of Licensed Poetics. I'm your host, Fang Ling, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye!
Bye!